Every Wednesday, you can see my next guest starring in the ABC sitcom George Lopez. He also has a brand new comedy CD called Team Leader, and tomorrow night he'll be appearing at the Town Hall Theater right here in New York City. Please welcome George Lopez.
Man, 10 years.
10 years.
I waited 10 years to come here.
Yeah.
It's absolutely worthwhile.
Yeah.
This quiet.
Yeah.
It's my biggest dream.
Yeah. If this is your biggest dream, something's really wrong, George.
I can't get an American Express card, but I can get on the show.
This is much better than an American Express
Absolutely.
card. Now, congratulations on all your success. You've done so well that, in fact, I read this somewhere. I don't know if it's true. It might be a rumor. I read that you bought in Los Angeles. You had to buy a home, and you bought the Olsen twins' old house, the house that they were living in. Now, is that a joke, or is that true?
I don't think the Olsen twins ever thought a Chicano would be living in their house, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we had to, it was great because it was a Tudor house, and we had to replace the roof.
Right.
So
were the Olsen twins, like, just trashing the roof?
Scratchings in the closet, the roof,
right,
shingles were torn off.
Yeah.
I hate that bitch was written in every other hallway. You know? I'm the pretty one. You know?
Yeah, right.
So it's a Tudor house. So I hired, my wife says, let's hire Ray the roofer.
Right.
Big guy, Swedish guy, about 6'4", white hair.
Right.
He hires 15 Mexicans. I told my wife I could have done that. So these guys, I come home one day, and these guys, there's no scaffolds.
Right.
They're literally rope tied to each other. And they're
climbing along the roof.
Climbing along the roof. It's like the old mother in the shoe, but with 15 Latino guys on the house. And they'd go get lemons, like they'd swing off and get a lemon and then swing back, you know. So I come back one day, and all 15 guys are in their underwear in my pool. Like all their clothes are all over, and they're all 15. And the guy sees me and he goes, "Hey, man, jump in. The man's not home."
Probably best not to tell them at that point.
Yeah, I told them, I am the man.
You are the man. Now, I imagine, and I've heard you talk about it as well, that you talk about growing up and there wasn't a lot of money. You probably, obviously, didn't have a pool.
Well, I never thought I would have a pool. I mean, my grandmother, we never went anywhere. I mean, I wanted to go to the beach, and she said, "I'll wet you with the hose, you know, it's closer, you know." So I used to swim in a trash can.
In a trash can? What kind of swimming were you doing in a trash can?
I do a lot of this, you know. I just go like this inside, you know. And you know, the grass clippings would come up. I'd have, like, you know, grass around my neck.
Yeah, that's not so good.
Oh, it was wild. That was it. She'd go do laps, you know, and I'd be in my underwear. And
that's a lap, spinning?
You know, I'd be in my underwear, and she'd throw in, like, a bar of soap and go, "Hey, you know, while you're in there."
Yeah.
You know.
2 birds, 1 stone. Now, on the CD, we listened to the CD today, you mentioned that you have a big gripe with Jack in the Box. What's your gripe with Jack in the Box?
Well, you know, the thing about Jack in the Box is even the fast food industry has changed dramatically. I mean, now Latinos have really taken over the fast food industry. And, you know, I speak Spanish, but it's still frightening when you go to Jack in the Box and the drive-thru and the first thing you hear is, "Welcome to Jack in the Box in Egelio." You know, I'd like a Jumbo Jack. Okay, you want a Jumbo Jack? I don't think there's a Y in Jack. So it's funny to me that Latinos, you know, you can throw them off by asking them what kind of fountain drinks do you have, because they don't know. They're like, "Oh, 1 minute, please," you know.
And then of course you're talking to a clown the whole time, which makes it worse.
You make them spell Sprite, they spell it E-S-P-R, Sprite, E-S. So
now,
yeah, man. That's...
You recently performed for the president. Is that right? That's a high honor.
Yeah, I went to the Ford Theater, and I was really afraid to, you know, I was kind of nervous. You know, I don't think there's a bigger audience than the president. Then I thought to myself, you know, damn, it's this president. So...
The crowd all...
Yeah, come mixed.
When you do those jokes, the crowd votes. Yay, boo!
They're torn in half. But it was so funny because I was on stage with 70 people, and he leaves, and the speech, the podium...
He had just given a speech.
So I go over Conan, and I grab the speech, and I put it in my pocket.
Because you thought that's a presidential speech. I should just take it.
I figured he didn't want it, you know.
Yeah.
So I go to this dinner, and Tom Scott, the band leader, comes up to me and says, "The White House is on to you." You know, nobody uses that, you know.
Right.
Then I said, "Well, I better take it on the lam then, you know.
Right.
So the Secret Service was looking for the speech. They said there's been a theft at the White House, and we want the speech. So I told Tom Scott, I'm going to tell him I don't have it.
Yeah.
I mean, how do they know?
What are they going to do?
Why me? Because I'm Chicano, they think I got to have the speech?
Right.
So just then, the Secret Service comes up and goes, Mr. Lopez. I go, it's in the car! Practically in tears.
What happened to your cool exterior? That just...
Man, I folded, man.
Yeah.
I folded.
Now, you're doing a comedy tour this summer, and I understand you bought like a really nice big bus to go on the comedy tour. Is that right?
It's funny because we rented Billy Ray Cyrus's... Oh, you know, Billy Ray ain't as popular as he used to be. So we rented the
So he doesn't need the bus anymore?
He doesn't need the bus.
He's in a wheelbarrow now.
$39.95. He can go everywhere.
Yeah.
Go Greyhound. So we're taking Billy Ray Cyrus's bus, and I won't get in the bus until they get like a case of Febreze and spray the whole thing down.
What kinds of things are going on in there?
I don't know what's going on in there.
Yeah, okay. Are you going to paint the bus anything cool? Or?
We probably will. We'll probably lower it. You know.
Bounce it around a little. Can they do that with a bus? That would be the coolest tour bus of all time. Yeah, all right, well. Yeah,
I'll hire Ray. We'll get 15 guys. I'll be right in there.
Yeah. They'll all be hanging off with ropes, putting a new roof on the bus. Tomorrow night, George is going to be performing at Town Hall right here in New York City, and the new CD, Team Leader, is going to be in stores June 3rd. George, you're a very funny guy. Thanks for being here. Good man. George Lopez. We'll be right back with Dropkick Murphy. Stick around. Everybody, we're back. On June 10th, my next guest will release their brand new album, Blackout, and you can catch them all summer long on the Vans Warped Tour. Please welcome from Boston, Mass, Dropkick Murphys. That was great. Dropkick Murphys, everybody. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. That was great. All right, everybody, that's our show. Do want to thank all my guests. George Lopez, thank you so much for being here. Continued success to you. Big thanks to Dan Aykroyd for stopping by. He's on Saturday Night Live this weekend. And, of course, Dropkick Murphys for putting on such a damn good show. Jimmy Vivino and the Max the Weinberg 7. Stay tuned for Last Call with Carson Daly. Have a good weekend. We'll see you Monday.
That's so strange. It's raining. That's something you almost never see here.
You know, the wonderful thing about New York is when it rains, it's a city that makes its own gravy.
That's true. That's very true. It does do that. Yum, yum. Hey, listen. Tomorrow, Regis returns.
No!
Yes!
I want to stay.
The audience, they love you, George. They went, oh? No.
Two people.
Rebecca Romaine Stamos will be here.
That's right, she will be here.
Janice Dickinson, the world's first supermodel, will be here.
Also, the latest Survivor All-Star to get kicked off the island, Alicia Calloway will be here.
They got rid of Alicia? I missed it on Thursday. Oh,
she's out.
Too bad.
But she'll be here. All the people who get thrown off of these shows end up here.
They do. They come here.
It's a great place it's a warming hut for the career.
It's where careers come to die. Just kidding. Now listen, she went from singling people out on MTV to the Hollywood big screen when she made you scream. Now she's venturing into motherhood. Please welcome the beautiful, the very funny Jenny McCarthy.
Hello, how are you? Good. Hi.
You're so hot.
Me?
You're hot.
You're hotter. In fact, before we start talking about myself, I would just like to tell everybody that I worked with Kelly on Hope and Faith, which we'll talk about later, and she is just as nice off camera as she is on. Truly. Because
that's a lie.
It's so true because, you know, most people are evil. And you are really nice. In fact, I got you a little something.
Oh, no.
To take care of a little problem that you might have, but I just wanted to get you something to dress up your little finger.
Oh no, the elephant finger. She makes fun because I have a finger that I constantly pick and pick and pick, and I pick the nail off to the point where it's deformed now. So now I have a tryst for my elephant finger.
I had that made especially for you.
And now the audience is curious now. They want to see it. No, you can't see it.
Well, if you show them yours, I'll show you mine next to it. And
No,
mine's pretty
that's
bad.
That's not.
Mine looks like a big toe.
They look the same, man.
We had a lot of fun working together because all we did was focus on our various deformities.
Yes, that's true.
Which, when dressed up nicely, you would never know.
Like my C-section scar is worse than your C-section scar.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that was our...
That's what we did. We compared things like that.
Now, I got to tell you, I was looking at your book. It is so hilarious.
Thank you.
Now, I've never delivered a child, but I was in the room with my wife, so all of that is fantastic.
Yeah, now did your wife read it? And did she, because I'm like sitting here reading it and I'm reading it and I'm going, ew, that's disgusting and so true.
I definitely wanted to tell the truth. I didn't think there was anything out there that was also funny and raw.
Right.
And I just was like, I want to help out some preggers and make them laugh. So, if you know anybody that's pregnant, get this book for them.
Well, because
I guarantee.
I wish I had it when I was pregnant, because a lot of the stuff that happens to your body, you're too ashamed to even ask your doctor who is responsible for your care.
Right.
Because you think that it's only happening to you, so you keep it to yourself. I'm like, this can't be a good sign. No. I think I won't bring it up at my next visit.
That's so true.
It's so true, because I'm like too ashamed.
Yeah.
So because I'm on TV and I don't want the word to get out, so I go, I'm not going to mention this at all. and maybe she won't notice it either.
There's so many things that people don't talk about that actually happens to your body that leave it to me. I have to put it in a book.
Right.
But it was embarrassing, but true, and I love to remember.
Now, here's the big question. How much weight did you gain during the pregnancy?
Okay, let me tell you this.
It's in the book.
The only woman I've ever met who gained more weight than me delivering one baby. It's really true.
I was pushing, when I checked in the hospital, about 204.
Right.
I ate everything. I loved it.
204. And I was a mere flyweight at 197. So it's like, but then again, I say this. You are taller than me, so therefore I still say, theoretically, I gained more weight than you.
Not.
But listen, we're going to talk more.
HBO's on the phone. They want you guys to battle it out.
Let's have Corey Steady when we come back. Don't go away. I love you.
Still ahead on Live, a
Jenny, you brought the sun to New York. Just kidding.
Lights?
Now let's talk about the fact that after you went through everything you talk about in the book, a baby was born.
Yes.
And he is stunning.
I love him more than anything in the world.
Jenny's son Evan is 2 years old.
He's so beautiful, and it's amazing when you have a baby, at least for me, my whole drive has changed, like in my career. It's like, I'm not looking for a trophy. I will do anything for his future. You might see me doing a tampon commercial, for Christ's sake. If it's gonna pay for school, I'm doing it. No. Are you not feeling frustrated? Because I ain't. So I will do anything for this kid.
Hello, 3 jobs. I mean, I think we'll work for diapers.
Yeah, I know. Book coming out too.
Now, you're on Hope and Faith this Friday night. And thank God we followed George. Well, we don't follow George, but
you lead us in with like a champion.
You're the hammer. You drive us home, which is so great.
This episode is so crazy. Can I tell a little bit of it?
Yeah, please.
I plays Kelly's best friend. Best friend? Friend. Whatever.
Best friend from school.
Best friend from school, and I come in, I wind up accidentally sleeping with her father. Played by Robert Wagner.
Robert Wagner. And so I decide I'm going to get even with Jenny and sleep with her father.
Played by Tony Curtis.
That's right. Now, Tony and Robert have been friends in Hollywood for 50 years.
Yeah.
They've never worked together until our show. So we had, it was really just amazing seeing these two like Hollywood legends in front of us. And then like the two of us like
hi.
Hi.
We used to watch you on Heart to Heart.
Yeah, I know.
And now I'm sucking your fingers on this episode.
It was that bad. We were talking to Rob RJ. He told us to call him RJ. And we were talking about how when we would watch Heart to Heart and he would do a shower scene, we would actually go to the front of the TV and try to peer down the front of the TV to see if we could see him naked.
Which he kind of blushed, I
He
think.
did. He blushed, and then he called his agent.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
But in the clip now
Right.
is my Hollywood legend,
That's right.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, kind of.
Kind of. You'll see. Definitely in this clip, this sets up.
Take a look at Jenny. We had so much fun with Jenny. It's a really funny show. It's this Friday, April 30th, and you can pick up Jenny's book, Belly Laugh, out May 1st. Thank you so much for being here. I love you.
Yeah, thank you.
We've got Jennifer Hudson from American Idol coming up next. Don't go away.
Tomorrow on Live at
What's happening? Oh my God! Hey, it's me. Come on. But it's Halloween. It could not be me. Oh my God! I love you. All right, I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love listen. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. It's all right. Happy Halloween. What if I was Eric Estrada under this costume? All right, so I'm happy to be here with you guys at MIT, talking about the spark. You know the spark that it's when people tell you you're crazy. That's when you got the spark. When you go, I want to grow up, I want to be an engineer. Está loco. That's the spark. All right, so I'm here. It's quiet, huh? You guys taking pictures, selfies? When I was growing up, we didn't have clearly the technology that you have today. So we didn't have our own cameras or selfies. We would just have to remember. They go, remember we went to New York? You remember? Oh. When I was growing up, my grandmother raised me, so my grandmother never really wanted to take me anywhere, so she would tell me I'd already been places and that I didn't remember. Like I want to go to Disneyland. You already went. You don't remember? You don't remember? You scratch your back when I pulled you under the fence to get in? Ah. All right, so listen, to all of you guys, it's interesting because you guys are very diverse, and I think that's what this country is going to, right? Diversity, yes, diversity. Diversity, and I believe that if this, because we grew up, it was a very black and white, but the diversity, and even in your faces and stuff like that, you can see it, that if this diversity continues, I think in 20 years, everybody will look like Bruno Mars. So, but here's the thing with you guys, like you guys have all of the technology. Oh my God, hi. All the technology that we didn't have, and I think it makes it easier and it makes it harder in a sense because when we were growing up, we didn't get tested like you guys get tested. Like you guys know if you're allergic to stuff, like all of a sudden now no one can eat a peanut. Does anybody have a peanut allergy? Nobody's going to say, but nobody can eat a peanut because you guys get tested. Even on airplanes, they won't allow peanuts if somebody on the plane can't eat peanuts. So, now, even now, if we're at conflict in other countries, we're easy to figure out because we won't need bombs or anything in 10 years. Whoever we're fighting against could just throw peanuts and the soldiers would start walking. What's the matter? But the United States is the greatest country. This is the greatest country. I've traveled all around the world, and this is the greatest country to live in and to learn in. Do you agree in that this is the greatest country? Yes. My ancestors are from Mexico, but I don't do well in Mexico. The deeper into Mexico I go, the whiter I get. They're like, "Are you enjoying Mexico?" Oh my God, why is it so hot? So here's the thing, with the way this country is, and you guys, like, everything is possible. I think you guys know that, right? That everything is possible in this country. Got awful quiet. That everything is possible. When I grew up, I wanted to be a comedian from the time I was 11. I mean, 11 years old. That was 1921. No. So I wanted to be a comedian from the time I was 11 years old, and I just graduated from high school. I was the first one in my family to graduate from high school. Yeah, first one. With a whopping 2.2 grade point average. They almost didn't write it down. It was so low. They almost said, is it worth wasting the ink? 2.2. So when I was a comedian, when I started to become a comedian, it wasn't very easy for me because, I had learning disabilities that went undetected. Now, like I said, you guys get tested. The only test we had when we were growing up, really, is you'd go to the vice principal's office and the guy sat there with like a box with a knob in the middle, and then they had a long wire, and then you put headphones on, and then the guy would turn the knob, and then you go. They go. 2.2. But listen, and education clearly. So when I was growing up, I idolized Richard Pryor. Does anybody know Richard Pryor? Richard Pryor. So he was my idol, and when you pay it forward and you appreciate where you come from, this Sunday he's from Peoria, Illinois. Illinois. I always get it wrong. Illinois. So this Sunday, me and Cedric the Entertainer and Mike Epps and D.L. Hughley and Charlie Murphy and Eddie Griffin are doing a show that I arranged to raise the money to finish the statue for Richard Pryor in Peoria, Illinois. So we're going to do that this Sunday. As a gesture of his inspiration of me as a comedian and as a Latino too. Are there Latino kids here? At MIT, Latinos at MIT. I was at MIT too, Mexican in training when I was younger. But you see healthy stuff now that we didn't see. So, you guys have health, you're health conscious, you guys work out, you guys eat right, all of the stuff that, you guys have Chipotle now, right? Chipotle. Like, we didn't have Chipotle. There wasn't even healthy Mexican food nowhere. I mean, my uncle's cholesterol level, he thought the higher it was, the better it was. So I'd go, Tio, what's your cholesterol level? 95 right now, 195. I'm trying to get to 1,000 by Christmas. My left arm is going numb, so I know I'm going right. So, but Chipotle to me is great because they don't even have a tortilla anymore. You can get a burrito in a bowl. And then everybody pronounces the names wrong, like pollo. It's pollo, and then I'll hear people, hi, can I have some palo? And some pico de culo and some guac. Guac. They've even shortened the name of guacamole to guac. It's better than, listen, the real homemade food, like the kind that puts you to sleep, they don't make anymore because that all had lard. We're lard. We don't need lard anymore. we're all conscious of our health. The milk, there's 20 kinds of milk now. Nobody drinks whole milk. When we were kids, we drank whole milk. You could hear the cow in the, like when you drank it, you turned it, you could hear the, but that's all bad. Now people know that's bad. So now there's 100 different kinds of milk, 2%. I was at Starbucks and this lady, you know, everybody's all particular. She says, "Is this 2%? Because I can only drink 1%. And it tastes like 2%. So I grabbed the coffee. You want 1%? Hang on. There, I spill half. There, it's 1%. When you guys were growing up, you guys have baby monitors. You know how they have the monitors? Everything is for safety. Everything is for safety. Now you have video screens that you can watch the kids sleeping. There's a camera over the kid's bed. The kid's in bed. You can call in, "Courtney, are you all right?" Over. When I was growing up, we just slept. Nobody checked on us. The baby monitor was the other babies that would come outside. I go, "What do you want, Gilbert?" Gilbert's been crying in the room for 45 minutes by himself. By himself? All right, then go join him. Now you see car seats, it's all safety. 30 buckles. You see how a baby goes in there? 30, like he's going to the moon. He sits in there. It takes about an hour and a half to put the buckles on. Just. Us, one strap across. Your mom would hit the brakes, you'd hit the... And then you'd want to cry, and they'd say, "Don't look at him, he's going to start crying," to the baby. "Don't look at him, he'll start crying." Somebody in the future, with Barack Obama, we will have I believe we'll have a female president. Yeah. It could be somebody in here. One of you could become the president. Just remember me in case I jump the fence. But it's encouraging for me to see you guys with your whole life ahead of you. And knowing that you do have a spark inside of you, that you can become successful, that no one can tell you that you can't be. And that if you remain positive and believe in yourself, that good things can happen. Do you agree with that? That good things can happen? You're getting an education. I'm going to go over here. Don't miss me. That you can get an education and that this is the greatest country in the world. It truly is. You know, I started a foundation because 9.5 years ago I was sick and I had a kidney transplant 9.5 years ago, which I had when I was a kid, but my grandmother never took me to the doctor because she would say, "You already went. You don't remember?" So we didn't go to the doctor when we were growing up, but then now everybody goes to the doctor and everybody's trying to be healthy and everybody wants to live forever. But I will tell you this, that time goes by very fast and that there is no time to waste. So whether you're young or old, you have to make the best of every day because it goes by so fast. And if your parents are alive, take pictures with them and get stories from your family and talk to your grandparents because it does go by fast. Do you agree that it goes by fast? Yeah? All right. So, look at everybody's looking at me. This morning in the hotel, they thought I was a dog whisperer. That was a good one. Yeah. No, this lady goes, "Wait a minute, I know you." And I said, oh yeah, do you? She goes, "Yeah." And she tells her friend, "Karen, it's Cesar Millan." So I gave her some advice on her dog anyways. I don't think it's going to work. I told her to feed her chocolate. No, I didn't. But I really just wanted to come out here and tell you guys that, you know, I've been working with the Dalai Lama Center for 2 years. I came here 2 years ago. It's always an honor to come back. You know, I'm proud of my heritage to the Latino kids that are here. I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud to be involved with the center. And also to tell you that, everything is possible. You stay positive. When I was growing up, I used to watch I Love Lucy. You guys watch I Love Lucy? Yeah? That's old. That's some black and white. That's some old stuff. So in the history of TV, and I used to watch these guys, and I used to dream about having my own show, never thinking it was possible. So in the history of TV, only 3 people have ever had a successful sitcom that were Latino. One was Desi Arnaz. He was on I Love Lucy. And one was Freddie Prinze. He was on Chico and the Man. And I'm the 3rd one. So I never imagined that. I never imagined that for me. So I'm just going to say that thank you for listening to me. I hope that your futures are all bright. They should be. Keep your spark lit, and I'm your biggest fans. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Happy Halloween. Enjoy your day. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Old, and she doesn't want to use the oxygen. She has oxygen. No, mijo, mira, I'm all right. I can breathe. You ever seen a fish that jumped out of the bowl and he's laying down? But when you fight, she's there. Tell that bitch. And with my grandmother, everything was no. Grandma, no! You don't even know what it is. Yeah, but I know what it's not. And you couldn't talk back. Now kids talk back. No, I won't. I won't. And the mothers, they don't even hit the kids. Listen, listen to here, Piper. I will not. Are you listening to me? Dakota, I'm talking to your sister. Piper? My grandmother give me a putazo. Stand right here. Stand right here. Stand. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? I barely touch you. You can't even touch him because right away he starts crying. Why are you crying? My ear is bleeding. Look, it was bleeding before you got here. I didn't want to tell you. Why are you crying? That's all the moms would say. Mira, cabrón. Why are you crying? I barely touch you. Want me to hit you for real? Come over here. Want me to hit you for real? Mira. My grandmother used to hit me, man, for all kinds. I want ice cream. You want ice cream? No. Ice cream makes me dizzy. Because, mira, if you want ice cream, cabrón, I got 31 flavors aquí, cabrón. You want some? One time when I was 6, she backed into me with the car. She was backing a pang out of. And what did she say? Get out of the way! And they would try to bribe you to walk. Hey, you want to go to McDonald's? You want to go to McDonald's? Then walk right. You want to go to McDonald's? Then walk right. Walk right. Walk right. Fucking Lego chuecos. Mira,
They don't let kids that walk like that into McDonald's. Walk right. Look at fucking show off. You can't even touch them with a card because right away, what's it? And now that I grew up and I made it, she's all in denial. I never hit you, liar. I can't believe that you tell that people I used to hit you. Mira, I'll get your hair and I'll pull it. I got arthritis. I can't grab you no more, pero.
What's happening? Oh my God! Welcome to Lopez Tonight, everybody. I want to wish everyone a merry holiday season, and may all your transgressions be bright, and may all your waitresses be white. So tonight, Morrissey. That's big. Hey, Morris. All right, take it easy. You're not at Coachella, relax. Or as the Latinos like to call him, the vato that makes us feel warm inside. When I put Morrissey on, I can let the kids play longer. I get a warm sensation in my heart. I go play. I think I can be somebody. So every day, I try not to talk about Tiger Woods. And then I turn on the TV like in The Godfather. They pulled me back in. Gatorade dropped Tiger Woods. That's gacho, eh? Let's give him a team gacho. Gacho. Gatorade shouldn't drop Tiger Woods. If anything, they should re-sign him. Because Gatorade gives you the stamina to... with all those women. Listen, Gatorade replenishes the bodily fluids that you lose. That's a great campaign. It was in me, then I put it in you, and now it's back in me. Come on. That's beautiful. That's the slogan. Is it in you? After I finish this, it's going to be in you. Gatorade said that they plan to drop Tiger Woods 3 days before the fight with his old lady. Then sabes que Gatorade also must make you psychic también. Right? Gatorade must make you psychic. You drink it and you're like, hey, we better get rid of him before. Tiger's timing is awful, and I'll tell you why. And I think you guys will understand. You never want a song to come out that reflects what's happening to you. You never want a song to come out that reminds people of what's happening. Somebody call 911. Shorty's chasing me with a golf club. Oh, somebody call 911. Even Christmas makes him look bad. Santa Claus is even going, ho, 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 sucia, scandalosa, ho. 9 ho, somebody call 911. Listen, Tiger's situation is so bad, David Letterman is making jokes about him. That's like two fat dudes making fun of each other. Perez Hilton spoke against Tiger, and he don't even like. Tiger's life is worse than Precious right now. I felt like throwing a brush at him. Hugh Hefner said that monogamy is all an illusion. You know what? That is the last person that Tiger wants coming to his defense. Hugh Hefner. That's the equivalent of John McCain helping President Obama get something off the high shelf. Hugh Hefner, a faux erection in a smoking jacket. Hugh Hefner has been with so many women, he never even takes off his pajamas, cochino. Answer the door with manchas all over the front. Have you seen Hugh Hefner? He looks like the last rotisserie chicken at the market. Wrapped in a silk pajama, just twirling with a red sticker because nobody will buy it, you know. Still tender. So listen, Tiger's story has covered up a lot of other bad behavior. For instance, the same weekend, the same Thanksgiving weekend, David Hasselhoff got falling down drunk again, and his daughter had to call 911. Which was busy because Tiger's wife was on the phone. They pulled me back in. I hope that the Hoff, that's what they call him in Europe, the Hoff, they don't realize how corny he is. The Hoff doesn't die of alcohol poisoning. I hope that he's okay. But I think it'd be cool if the car from Knight Rider spoke at his eulogy. There's a car sitting there. You will be missed, Michael. Michael was always running on a higher octane than me. Thank God I was always in control of me. I saved the Hoff from a lot of DUIs. And then they sold the car to a Latino family in the car. Please, you need to get help.
On a dead-end street. How great is that? I don't think I ever realized that until right now. This is where the dream was born, kind of, you know, in this house. I wanted to be funny, and all the good and the bad things that went with it all lead back to this house, to this backyard, to this area where I'm standing. I think you guys know my story, right? I'm Mexican-American, no father, wasn't raised by my mother, I was raised by my grandparents.
My grandmother kind of tempered me by her fire, by her attitude, and made me strong. Everything was no. Birthday party? No, get birthday party. No, why are you crying now? No. Chuck E. Cheese, you want to see a mouse? Pull the refrigerator out. What's up, by your feet? By your feet! You saw him? Happy birthday, you saw him?
From the whole time I was a kid, no one was ever home. And that's like the craziest thing, is that no one was ever home. So TV became like a sibling. In that time, Dinah Shore was on, Merv Griffin was on, Johnny Carson was on, and I started to watch these shows, and they were really easy to watch. They were really funny. Mike Douglas was huge. I'd run home after school and watch Mike Douglas. Mike Douglas had Freddie Prinze on. I was a tremendous fan of Freddie Prinze. The first time I saw him, it made me want to be a comedian, and it made me want to be on TV. I didn't know those kind of positions existed until I saw him. In 1980, there was this cable company in Los Angeles called On TV, and they ran Richard Pryor Live in Long Beach on it.
Anyone here ever had a heart attack? Them motherfuckers hype.
When I saw it, it was just like life going from black and white to color.
I was just walking along and something said, "No breathe."
That special, I ended up getting myself on a cassette tape, and then I would just leave it on in my house. It was always on. If it ran out, I rewound it and I started it again because I wanted to hear what it was like to go from a transition from one thing to the other. And from that, I mean, I just kind of set on my path to be as good as a comic as I could.
You know, most families talk about good shit. Well, I graduated from Stanford. Mexicans, hey, tell me about that time I got electrocuted, eh? Hey, ¿sabes qué? My feet were wet and I touched the wire.
You sold out 8 shows in like a week and a half. Not at a comedy club.
No, at the Gibson Amphitheater at Universal Studios.
6,000 seats.
Over 50,000 tickes.
Wow.
During the slow period between Christmas and New Year's.
That is amazing. That really is.
And everybody left happy. A lot of Latinos there, a lot of white people there.
Really?
If you didn't laugh, you found somebody to do tile. It was fantastic.
Next gentleman was so funny, so fresh, so fly, so nice, we had to bring him back twice. Here's George Lopez.
Arsenio, he debuted in '89 and huge, I mean, incredibly popular right out of the gate. I was a huge fan of the show. I was watching the show every night. I mean, it was appointment for me, appointment TV. It was fresh. It had people that you wouldn't see on The Tonight Show, that you wouldn't see on Letterman, that would not get on other talk shows.
So I had a great day today. I got up, I played golf. Yeah, I played golf. You know, because you guys are looking at me like, well, that's ethnically impossible.
For the 5 years that he was on, I was on 16 times. The most that any comic was on his show.
Thank you.
I was in Caroline's in 1996, and Chris Rock's manager, Dave Becky, came up to me after he saw me and he said, I want to give you some constructive criticism, hope it's okay. And I said, yeah. And he says, you know, when I watch you, there's nothing about you that says anything about you, like what you like, who you are, where you come from, what you dislike, what your politics are.
I'll tell you, what a crowd, all right? What a crowd, good crowd, all right?
And I remember thinking, you know, that's kind of an interesting. Then I walked back to the Mayflower Hotel, and he was right. That whole night I spent thinking about it. So I got up in the morning and I started to kind of examine what my life was all about. You know, it was my grandmother and being raised, I was raised tough.
My grandmother used to hit me, man, for all kinds. I want ice cream. You want ice cream? No, huh? Ice cream makes me dizzy.
I met Sandra in 1999, Sandra Bullock. And I didn't know Sandra Bullock from anyone. And she came to see me at the Brea Improv. As soon as I got off stage, she came backstage and said, I want to do my show, but I want to do it about what's in your material. I want to do it about your life.
Hi, everybody! Hey! Good to be back. So many people said at the beginning, oh, a Latino sitcom. It was a great comedy piece weekly. It had nothing to do with him being Latino.
Where's your mom? It's a full moon, so she's probably out in the yard combing her face.
Good comedy and great humor that stems from truth appeals to every audience. I don't care what race, nationality, what language you speak, it translates.
I found that my story was everybody's story. And, you know, my dream was everybody's dream. It's the American dream.
I am a living example of the American dream. I came from no place, no mother, no father, nobody in my family who believed in me. And my family always told me that I would end up on the street. You're worthless, George, you're gonna end up on the street. You know what? They were right. I did end up on the street, on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Thank you, America. Y viva la raza.
Our next guest plays a real witch on TV, but in real life she couldn't be sweeter or more charming. From the hit show Charmed, please welcome Holly Marie Combs.
At the moment.
It looks great.
Thank you.
You know, it looks like a guy that just loves football and kicking. You know, just guy like, hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, I know, I got one of those.
Look at that. You are still so little with just a little bump.
Yeah, it's fun. It's going well.
You know, is she not the most attractive 7-month pregnant person you have ever seen? I mean, that's nothing.
Nothing.
That's like when you go to a buffet in Vegas.
That's it.
That's it. No money to pay you. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, that's really nothing.
Now I want to know, before we get to the baby, I want to know, on Valentine's Day you did something very special.
I did.
Come on.
I found a husband. And obviously we had a really busy wedding night, and this just popped
like
up.
That.
Oh my goodness! And
now, Holly, when was that? When was that?
That was Valentine's Day.
Oh my God, Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, yeah, we had kind of a deadline, so we decided to do it real quick.
So where did you get married?
We got married at the San Ysidro Ranch in Santa Barbara. Yes, I pulled a Gwyneth, I know. It wasn't really original, but it was quick.
And painless.
And painless, yes.
Well, he looks rather gorgeous.
Yeah, he's kind of cute, huh?
Yeah,
I didn't do so bad.
What does he do for a living?
He's a key grip, actually.
He scored on the show?
Yes.
You know
All right.
Do you know how hard it is for a key grip to pull an actor from the show? That is...
Whoa!
Oh, my God.
He's going to be so thrilled with that, let me tell you.
He's a legend.
Yeah, pretty much. Although I like that, though. I like the manly guys that know how to work with their hands and have tools, and not so much the creative types, but, you know.
No, I like men with good hands, too.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me ask you now, do you know what the sex of the baby?
Yes, it's a boy. And they keep telling me it's kind of making me nervous, but they say he's 2 weeks bigger at this point than he's supposed to be. Which I'm like, wow, so when is this thing going to start,
moving,
slowing down and maybe not growing so much? And they're like, oh, it's okay, you'll just have a really big baby. I'm like, hi, not a tall person, where's it going to go? And
not too wide either.
It keeps going out.
Now, we were talking about that before you came out. Are you prepared for what's going to happen? You know, Lamaze doesn't prepare you for what goes on in the delivery room.
I haven't started yet.
But
although I have
me,
many girlfriends that just say, it doesn't work.
But once you get in battle, that stuff breathe. I was in there with my wife, and Sharon, you can say it is one of the most...
When they start saying take deep breaths and breathe in through your mouth, out through your nose, or the other way around, it's like, excuse me, there's no way.
Drugs.
No way.
Drugs.
It's like, hey, I'm screaming and cursing, and don't tell me about this deep breathing.
Yeah, it's like some form of hyperventilating that I think just makes you a little dizzy and supposedly doesn't make
you dizzy.
Not feel the pain. I don't know.
No, there's going to be pain. That's why you need a little drug. You need some drugs. You need to be very happy.
Now, what about, Ozzy says too, he says you wouldn't go to the dentist and have a tooth pulled without drugs, would you?
This is true.
No, it's
Absolutely.
true.
If they have to induce labor because they give you a drug that induces cramps.
Oh, because you want that.
You want the water to break. It makes the water break. I was telling Sharon that I was sitting down with brown suede shoes, and my wife was pregnant. She couldn't get the water to break, so they hooked her up to the Pitocin, and she walks by and she sneezes, and the water breaks all over my shoe.
And that's just some mystery fluid
So
that you don't want anywhere near you.
No, it is mystery fluid. You have no idea where it comes from.
What did you do with the shoes?
I went home barefooted. I walked in I never wore them again. I was walking,
Oh, yeah.
There's probably a homeless guy downtown, Los Angeles going, hey, these are kind of nice. Once you buff them out.
But they were very warm, I bet.
But it is the most exciting. After it's the most exciting when you see the baby and the emotion. The raw emotion is the best in the world.
I want to know, Holly, how through the whole time that we've been seeing you on Charmed, you don't look pregnant.
Well, we're trying to hide it.
Why?
We weren't terribly successful because we just started showing my pregnancy when I was 7 months, so just a couple of weeks ago. But for 7 months, we tried to hide it. You know, in the beginning, it wasn't so bad, and I could carry stuff, or I could just wear loose-fitting clothes. And then it got to the point where we have Alyssa and Rose, and then my head behind them.
We've got a clip that shows how you were hiding it quite well, actually.
Yeah, this one's good.
Are we going to see you on the show?
Yes.
We are. Okay.
Yeah, we're asking the audience to believe a lot, I know, but, it says 4 months later, and here I am 7 months pregnant. So I get it. If I get the letters from you all going, you don't look 4 months pregnant, I don't care what you say, this is not 4 months pregnant. I get it. I know. I'm 7 months pregnant.
It's only pretend.
I'm just huge as a house, and we're asking you to believe it's 4 months later.
So believe it. No letters. All right, you can catch Holly on Charmed Sunday nights at 8 on the WB. You look fantastic.
What was that like with Johnny Carson? Nothing, I imagine, can compare to the primordial nature of television back in the 1970s and early 80s when that was it. If you were on Johnny Carson, something like 80 to 90% of America was watching you in that very moment. That must have been a hell of a trip, dude.
I mean, I was in Las Vegas and Johnny Carson was going to retire. And in the summer of 91, the USA Today in the Life section had a comedian named Ron Schock, and he was going to be one of the last 6 comedians to be on The Tonight Show before Johnny leaves in 11 months. So I started to think, man, that's like Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. There's 5 tickets out there, and who's going to be the 5? And I'm thinking, well, it's not going to be me. You know what, man? It was me. I got one of the 6 spots.
God damn.
Man.
I'm Rick Sanchez, and this is the Rick Sanchez podcast. And boy, we've got a real treat for you. We talk a lot about something on this show that makes us very unique as Latinos. And you know what it is? Man, we are so friggin' resilient. There's something about the spirit of being a Latino in the United States. I mean, everybody knows we work 42 hours a week. The average non-Latino works 33 hours a week. We hire more people. We start more jobs. But the one thing we do, I think, the one thing we do as Latinos in America that makes us different is we just don't give a crap, man. You knock us down, we're going to get back up. You knock us down, you fire me, I'll get another job. I don't care. It's fine. We're like the frickin' Energizer Bunny, right? That's kind of who we are. It's who I am. I mean, how many times have I failed? I've told you all everything I've learned in my life is because I've gotten knocked down, right? And we start that way. And there's one guy, right? When you think of Latinos in America, there's one guy in particular who always comes to mind. And this is a guy who never had it easy, right? And part of the reason he never stops, he's always going, he's always winning, is because life's never been easy for this guy, right? It didn't start easy, and from time to time it hasn't been easy, but he's always está ahí, está aquí, as we say, está arriba. And I'm proud to know him, and I'm proud to say that, representa, right? He represents. George Lopez is good enough to join us now. How about that, huh?
That's quite an introduction.
How come nobody claps for me?
Yeah. I never thought it was going to be me, which I think is maybe one of the essential tools you need to be successful is you can't think it's going to be you because the odds are so stacked against you that thinking it would be you would be seeing a result before you've created a result. So I never thought it was me. And then I was going to go and see if it could be me. But my grandfather was not my biological grandfather. But he told me that I was lazy, that I was going to grow up to be lazy. And I think that could have been negative reinforcement or negative, but that doesn't work with kids these days. And it worked with me back then only because life was so simple. He was one of the few adults I ever saw in my life. So I had to listen to what he was saying. He was saying right in front of me. And I would just say, we'll see. We'll see.
My mother worked in a factory, and your grandmother who raised you worked in a factory. And it's funny because those of us who even know that word, it means so much to us. When you're poor when your parents worked in a factory. I don't know a non-Latino or a white kid who has ever said to me, when I've said to them, oh, what did your parents do? They've said, oh, my mom worked in a factory. Even just the word factory has a very special meaning to guys like you and me, doesn't it?
I've never heard anybody say it like that, but yes, and everybody was looking for, out here in Van Nuys, California, the General Motors job, the Lockheed job, Northrop, Aerospace, JPL, and they all had, there was nepotistic, they got in.
Yeah.
But I never wanted to do that in my heart or soul. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew that I didn't want to do that, put an ashtray in a Camaro for 40 years.
And by the way, let me say something. That's a job at the plant. You would say, oh, my mom or my grandmom or my dad, he worked at the Ford plant. My dad worked for Chevrolet. My dad worked for Ford. When you say my mom worked at a factory, you know what that means? That means they worked in a place where you don't even know what the hell the product was. They were, in my case, my mom sewed shoes from some company that nobody ever heard of called Suave or Siboney. But it's not like a job at the plant. It's not like it came with great benefits, so it's a job, man. It's just a job, right?
It's when you're saying that, whenever I used to go to town with my grandmother or grandfather, and I saw some kids that I may have known from school, I would duck down so they wouldn't see me with them. But in reality, I should have stood up. I just realized that I used to duck down not to be seen with them. They didn't know them. I knew them, and I didn't want to be seen with them. But they weren't bad people. They were deficient in what areas all people of that age, of that time, would have been deficient in. Caring about other people. Yeah. They didn't have any sympathy for anybody. Everything was like, you're all right, get up, come on, we gotta go. And there was nothing that ever you could was any urgency to make sure, are you okay? Are you all right? If somebody were to do that, they would say, yeah, he's all right. Thank you. He doesn't need anything.
George, you grew up with your grandmother, really, your mom's mother, maternal grandmother,
yeah,
and your grandfather somewhat, although you describe him as not a really nice guy, kind of mean, right? What happened to your parents?
My mother, in San Fernando, California, my mother was always somebody who, first of all, she wasn't entirely mentally well, and she would just kind of go out and come back with a guy, and come back with a TV, come back with a new refrigerator. I mean, I don't know how she did it. I mean, she didn't write, and I tried to teach her to read when I was in fourth grade, and I couldn't do it. You can't teach an adult to read in fourth grade. And one of the things that was very painful to me to see was that they would have an open house, and she would come to the open house, and you'd have to sign in. And I would be like, no, she's okay. And then she would make an X. That's when an X was an approved signature. She would make an X.
Wow.
That just lays on you, man. Like, oh my God. I wasn't a straight A student, so there wasn't any clamoring to see what my work was going to reveal about me, and that was just so internally destructive to me that those may have been the seeds that were planted to find those nuances that made us who we were, but also that you could share with other people. So they knew that if they saw the same thing, like you said, we're resilient.
Yeah. When I went to NBC to work after I was working in local, and I knew that I grew up like you, and my parents don't speak a lick of English. My dad only has a 4th grade education. He barely knows how to read and write, except for what he taught himself. And suddenly I found myself there. I don't know if this happened with you. When you're Latino and you grow up really poor and you look around your surroundings and you don't think you mix in with the big other kids. I go to NBC, my first gig up there, and I'm surrounded by all these people. They're all Ivy League school guys. Their parents are kind of famous. They've got lawyers. They got PR people. And a lot of them, you're interviewing today the Secretary of State. He's coming in from the White House, and you're sitting next to Tom Brokaw. You're sitting next to all these famous people I've seen on TV, and I'm feeling. We have this word in Spanish. It's coaccionado, right? It means like I'm kind of embarrassed. Do I belong here? What am I going to do when I'm going to have to fight through this crap? And then somehow along the way, I don't know how, George. I don't know how, but I think I finally figured out that because I didn't have all those things, I had always had to work a little harder, and I came at it a little differently, and I had 2 cultures, and in the end, I had stuff those guys didn't have. But in the process, man, it's hard to figure that crap out, or at least it was for me. I don't know what it was like for you.
Well, I mean, one of the things that drew me to you and your style was that como no tienes pelos en la lengua, you don't hold anything back in a space where everything is held back. You had very honest opinions, and you stuck by your opinions, which is something that not a lot of people do. They speak on their opinions one day, then the next day, hey, listen, I'm sorry I said that. I don't know what I was thinking. You have to. The times that I've been doing stand-up, and I was always afraid of what people might think, or if anybody would get upset. And I think I was that way because those thoughts weren't mine. But now that they're mine, I don't apologize because comedy's indefensible. There's some things in comedy that you don't do, just like a police would never relinquish his gun. It's just like there's things that you're not supposed to do. And in comedy, you're not supposed to apologize for comedy.
It says in your biography that you were inspired by Freddie Prinze. Those of us old enough to remember know that Freddie Prinze was kind of in many ways, one of the most talented human beings we've ever seen performing, and also one of the most tortured people we knew. What was it? What was it that inspired you about Freddie Prinze?
Well, I believe that in the summer of 73, 74, when the TV guide would come out with a fall schedule, and that show was in a Chico and the Man. And then during the summer of 73, and they started to run promos of Chico and the Man. I think he was Hungarian, Puerto Rican, playing a Chicano. I wasn't into that whole thing about, hey, only a Chicano could play a Chicano. But his magnetism, his personality, I didn't know underneath that the way that a manager that we both shared said that he had a man's body, but a child's mind. He was very 6'2" and looked very confident on the outside, but was a lost boy inside and on drugs from back in New York. So, you come out here and you're a sensation and you don't know what's happening. It's all happening so fast that, everything he did was not the correct thing for him to do. And then back then, I don't even think they had the Betty Ford Center. They would fire you. If you use drugs, they would fire you, and then you would just disappear. But he wasn't around that long, but he made quite an impression on me because that was the first time that I ever really saw somebody that I would consider love at first sight.
You mean because you identified with his character, because you identified with his background, or because you just
identified with the look, identified with the idea that he was a stand-up doing a television show, which I never equated, and then, years later when in 2001 or 2, when I first started to do interviews, and they would say, well, who are your comedy idols? And I would say Freddie Prinze. And it was a new conversation because he'd been away for so long. And when I was 17, I stole his headstone from Forest Lawn, as if taking it was going to give me.
Did you really? You really
shield.
Stole his headstone?
Yeah. It was already loose, but yes.
What the hell did you do with it?
I kept it between my mattresses for years, so that I don't even know what I thought was going to penetrate through the mattresses, but which I'm not proud of. But it just goes to. I mean, it's proof. It's a footprint to the time that I would say I was obsessed. But when they came to me about the Hollywood Star and me, the 100th episode, I told them that I wasn't going to go in until Freddie Prinze went in, and nobody ever petitioned Freddie Prinze to be in. And then Johnny Grant, at that time, rest his soul, said, well, we'll look and see. And then he was not in. And then I paid for him to be in. And his family, I knew, his Kathy Prinze, a wife, and Freddie Jr. And so what I did later brought them all together on Hollywood Boulevard, friends from New York. And it was quite a celebration for Freddie and Freddie Jr. Very emotional.
What was it like the first time you did stand-up?
In '79, wow. We asked a wino to buy us some wine at like a Bristol Farms on Westwood Boulevard, and we pushed it. It was a cork. We pushed the cork down with a pen, and me and my buddy Ernie were drinking. He didn't even go on stage. I don't know what he was drinking.
This isn't going to end well, but keep going.
And it was going to null the pain, but it was all, Rick, it was all frightening, man. I mean, I was scared of everything already, and that would have had to have been the most terrifying thing that I was ever going to do.
Yeah.
And when you look back, it's like, what would make you go back? And I don't have the answer to that.
But you obviously figured it out. I mean, you've become, to this day, one of the most sought after comics in the United States. In both the little screen, the big screen, the live screen, everything, man. I mean, I had a baseball coach that told me that when things got tough, I quit, and that quitters in life don't go anywhere, don't do anything. He goes, come back in 10 years and let me know how you're doing. I bet you I can tell you right now, you're not doing a damn thing. And he said that
we were with my baseball coach in high school. We were nose to nose, and we were going at it. And I turned around, and my friends were just like, wow. And I started to play golf maybe a year or two out of high school, and it was very difficult to learn.
Yeah.
And when it got difficult to learn, I would quit, pick up the ball and tell those guys, hey, I'm only going to play 9 holes. I'm going to take off. I forgot I had something to do. But I was lying to them, and I was lying to myself. And then on the way home one day, it's almost like his head appeared behind me, and he said, when things get tough, you pack it in. And I pulled over to the side of the road. I kind of evaluated my life at that point, which wasn't a lot to do. And then I figured out he was right. And I went to the school. I hadn't been there maybe in 4 or 5 years. And I went to the school, and I was walking across this field, and he was kind of looking like, who is that? And he says, is that my third baseman? I said, hey, coach, how you doing? What brings you here? And I told him that I had to come and apologize to him, because if I didn't, I don't think I could have lived my life peacefully without taking the responsibility of making his life harder. And then what he said to me was right. And it's the first time in my life I ever apologized to somebody. I would just disappear and not talk to the person anymore.
Fascinating. Are you still scared when you perform?
No, not at all. I may get tired, but I'm not scared. And I've been transcribing my shows like a dictation for the last 20 years. So I have all these shows that I've done, and there's stacks of them, and the DVDs are put away. And it's a great tool to look back, almost like if a paralegal was going to go and look up some case, I could go back and look up what I did in 2005, and then keep track of everything new and move everything old out. And I think I'm not afraid. I'm always very well prepared, which I wasn't. I'm opposite of what I used to be, not prepared. And I look back on those things either on the plane or during the day of shows, and it keeps me kind of in that cut right there.
Everybody says that you were discovered by Sandra Lopez and her, Sandra Bullock and her production team. I mean, that's the palaver, el cuento, as we say out there. How much of that is true, or how much of that is nuanced?
Let's see. That's a good question. I didn't know her from anybody.
Yeah.
And Dave Chappelle had been at this club in Austin, and Sandra lived in Austin. And the manager comes after the first show, and he goes, hey, man, guess who's coming? Sandra Bullock. And I was a little sloppy. I was drinking. I wasn't very professional. The material I wasn't, fond of. Just kind of going through a dead end thing in the late 90s. And then I actually got on my knees, and I prayed for her not to show up. Please. I didn't know her. I didn't know what she was going to think of me, but I prayed that she would not come to the show. And before the start of the second show, the guy peeks his head and, hey, she called, she's not coming. And I was embarrassed of what I was doing, but also less than 2 years later, she saw me out here, and I was so impressive because I kind of was changing the way I approached comedy at that time because I was just on a dead end place. I'm like, I got to get out of this. And I was more prepared. And she came to see me, sat in the middle. And when she came backstage, she said, your life is like a train wreck that you can't turn away from. And let's come to my office and let's talk. And let's see what else we could find in there that's a train wreck. I said, yeah, all right. Train wreck.
But wait a minute. Your show that she, I guess, had a hand in at least highlighting or having it come to fruition. You played a dad, a regular guy, a very likable, normal. Other than the fact that you were funny and you were like every other dad, like I am, like my dad was with me, which made you very relatable. There was no train wreck there. So how did you go from that perceived train wreck guy to the really cool Latino dad on TV, probably the most famous Latino dad ever, with the possible exception of maybe Desi Arnaz?
Yeah, I went through and here's another thing that people where I come from. I was hitting golf balls over here. My manager calls me. He's like, "Are you on your way?" I'm like, "Man, I'm not going." What do you mean you're not going? What's she gonna do for me? Because hey, they called. At 1 o'clock, they'll be waiting for you. Why would you not go? I said, "What is she gonna do? What is she gonna do for me?
Wow.
What has anybody ever done for me?"
Oh my God.
He's like, "You better go. You better go." And again, I would just say, I'm not going. And I went. We spent 3 hours talking, laughing, and we just kind of attached it to the fact that I used to work with my grandmother in a factory. And then I was married and I had one kid, and then we created the boy and a girl. And then the mom character was my grandmother, and my best friend Ernie was really my best friend Ernie. And Angie was Anne, and Carmen was Chicha's daughter named Carmen, and Max was my grandmother's poodle, Max. And we just attached it to the things that were family-oriented and workplace-oriented. And then from there, we started to unravel the relationship between myself and my mother and myself and my wife. And I describe the show this way. Trying to prove to his mom he's not a boy, and trying to prove to his wife he's a man. And it worked.
Yeah. I can't believe what you just said, though, that you had this opportunity to sit with them, that they were courting you, and there was something inside you that said, no, I don't want to go. Were you really saying, I don't deserve this? Is that what you were saying?
I think I was afraid of anything.
Yeah.
I think I was afraid of, I didn't have any adult male figures or anybody in my biological family that would have given me any information or advice that would have helped me growing up. And it was very, very primitive, man. I think Jodie Foster did a movie with Nell. I think she was raised by wolves. And I don't know, Rick, man, I can't tell you what it is, but I think the main thing is that if you quit, you're out. And if you don't quit, you're in. And no matter how far in you are, it's like all of the things that you were told, and then it has to be, like I used to go down Barham and pay the rent late, and I would drive by Warner Brothers, and I would think to myself, what do you have to do to get in there? And that's why I did my show. So in a sense of manifest destiny, manifesting destiny is always good, because you never know. I mean, I manifested destiny without even being aware of what manifest destiny was. I just had these things in my head, and if I put it out there, I'd get it done. And I didn't realize that till a friend told me that maybe 15 years ago.
One of the cool things about you is that you've been very, very consistent throughout your career. I think, obviously you've had jobs, lost jobs, just like every other human being in this planet, but you've been very, very consistent. Is that Is that something about your habitual sense? Is it something about your sense of organization? How have you maintained that level where most people in our profession, even more in your profession, because you're more on the entertainment side and I'm more on the news side, have a tough time with that? Somewhere along the line, they just get dogged somehow.
I was never really connected to anything human. I was more connected to things that were inanimate. Guitars, golf clubs, but humans, no. I never saw a healthy relationship growing up. And then I started doing stand-up at 18 and started traveling at 23, 24. I'm 61. Been traveling. It's an isolate. I picked the things you can do by yourself. You can play guitar by yourself. You can golf by yourself. And stand-up, you're the only one on stage. So in all of these years that have passed and in a vacuum, I would say the thing that has benefited me the most was the fact that I didn't connect to anything or anybody. So I didn't have I didn't let leaving your family to go on the road affect me. When I was standing behind the curtain in 91, when I did the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and then 31 years later, a month ago in New York with Jimmy Fallon, while they were coming back from commercial, I said, man, I stood behind this curtain 31 years ago. Did I believe 31 years ago that I was going to be standing back here 31 years later? I would have said no. I would have said no.
What was that like with Johnny Carson? Because even today, going on Fallon and going on some of these other shows is big, but nothing, I imagine, can compare to the primordial nature of television back in the 1970s and early 80s when that was it. If you were on Johnny Carson, something like 80 to 90% of America was watching you in that very moment. That must have been a hell of a trip, dude.
I mean, I was in Las Vegas and Johnny Carson was going to retire. And in the summer of 91, the USA Today in the Life section had a comedian named Ron Schock, and he was going to be one of the last 6 comedians to be on the Tonight Show before Johnny leaves in 11 months. So I started to think, man, that's like Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. There's 5 tickets out there, and who's going to be the 5? I was in a hotel in Vegas at the Maxim in a Playboy Girls of Rock and Roll review show, and I'm thinking, well, it's not going to be me. I'm over here in the Playboy Girls of Rock and Roll. I'm so far from being ready. And you know what, man? It was me. I got one of the 6 spots.
God damn.
Man. I can't believe it. I mean, I still, even saying it to you, I still don't believe it.
Johnny frickin' Carson, man. That's like the Super Bowl.
And and about 2 months ago, a jeweler came to my wardrobe person and said, hey, I got this kind of strange request. Jonas, this guy, this jeweler to the stars, got a presidential Rolex, and the Rolex used to be owned by Johnny Carson. I'm like, what? I remember Johnny Carson having a Rolex, and it's shining on the Tonight Show. And I'm like, how did he get it? Oh, his widow gave it to a guy she was dating. They didn't end up getting married, and he still held it. And he hadn't worn it in 10 years, and he was going to sell it, and it had all the documentation. And he wanted to know, the jeweler said, I think I know the perfect couple guys for this. Went to me first, and then he said, if you don't like it, don't feel any pressure to buy it. And then Dick Wolf was the guy who wanted to buy it. Dick Wolf wanted to look at it. And I, when the minute I held that watch in my hand, it just kind of like this thrust of like light went through me, like just through me, and holding it. And outside of my building at NBC, where my dressing room is, the Johnny Carson building, and NBC's right there. And I bought it.
Wow.
And he was wearing it the night that I did the Tonight Show in 91 when he came down the hall and he and I shook hands.
What was that like, by the way, doing the show? Did you pinch yourself a little bit?
I got seen by the talent scout at the Improv, and he said, oh, I like you. Very dismissive. I like you. Why don't you put some stuff together and give me a call in a week, 10 days and see where you are. So then I worked on it all day for 7 days. I call him up. I go to Burbank to his office where you can see Der Wiener Schnitzel from outside of the NBC office. And he was at his desk in his chair, and I was in front of him, and he said, "Okay, let's see what you got." No audience, nothing. I told jokes to one guy, and he just went a couple times, and he said, "All right, move this here, move that there, and move that there, and give me a call in a week and 10 days." So that I had been working on it, but then I was at the Improv, and I was just going to work it out. And he walked in, and he saw me, and he said, "Hey, are you going to do the stuff for the show? I'll look at you right now." And I wasn't planning on seeing him, but I was going to do stuff for the show, and I did it. And when I walked out, he shook my hand and said, "Congratulations, you got the Tonight Show."
Wow. What a story. You mentioned a little while ago that one of the reasons you've been very successful and very driven is because you've never really, I don't know what word or what verb to use here, but maybe you've never given yourself the luxury or allowed yourself to tie yourself to any one person or any one human being. And, in life we have children. I have children. You have children, wives, loved ones. I too have always felt like I was just driven to get to the next thing, and nothing would get in the way of that, which is why I guess I ended up interviewing 4 or 5 presidents and working at NBC and working at CNN and working at Fox and doing all that shit. And part of it was because that actually became more important than anything. Not that I don't love my wife and I don't love my kids, because I really do, but I almost relate a little bit to that sense of drivenness that you just described. Can you put it into your words for us?
Well, I would say, man, I think I've said, and I don't want it to seem, I wanted to be somebody in a place where everybody was nobody. Not that they weren't not that they weren't important, but they just got up every day and went to the same place, and I didn't want that. And I didn't settle, or did I not want to settle like these guys have settled, and I just thought that I was different, not better, but I just felt inside that I was different.
Yeah, I know. And I guess what you're trying to say is you don't want to come across as callous, because I don't think you are. And I know the people who love you and you love them back. But
everybody there made their life decisions so early, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to make a decision that I would be working in this place for 30 years when I was 19. And stand up, I didn't know if I was going to be any good at it, but I just felt like that was like young Chicanos use boxing or Latinos use boxing. I just thought, I didn't even know how far I was going to get. I just felt like I couldn't live the life of a 9-to-5 guy. I already done that. I didn't like it.
You just said Chicano instead of Latino, and I totally relate to that, because I think there's something in the spirit of, Los Angelinos, somebody who is from Los Angeles and is Latino, who has, it doesn't mean that you can't identify with a Cuban or a Cuban from Miami or a Puerto Rican from New York or a Hondureño from, Chicago. But there's something in the spirit of being a Mexican-American from LA, which is a little different. And there's nothing wrong with that, no different than being a redneck dude from Tuscaloosa. It's just, there's a part of the regionality of who you are. Can you
I think people that come from New York sound like they're from New York.
Yeah.
And people that come from LA look like they come from LA. And, the whole Chicano, in the 70s, we were Chicanos in the 70s, and they had brown berets, and they had all these brothers, and had these car clubs. And then in the late 70s and 80s, then the paisas from Mexico and El Salvador and Guatemala was coming to Los Angeles, and they were the ones that would, be dressed from the waist down, no shirt, but boots and slacks. And they'd be working on their car with a lamp outside, and they'd got to be holding the lamp. And somebody said, how would you describe a Chicano versus a non-Chicano? And I would say, when you play basketball and they have the shirts and the skins, the skins are from Mexico and the shirts are from the United States, because I'm never taking my shirt off to work on a car outside. They had no qualms.
Me neither. They're the same with these guys. Have you ever been with a bunch of guys? I remember when we were growing up, we'd play baseball or we'd play basketball, mostly basketball, and you'd play shirts versus skins. And like, no, I'm not taking off my shirt to play basketball with you. I mean, I'm just not. It's just not my gig. I mean, I don't do that. So,
I started to let the shower steam up, so when I got out, I wouldn't have to look at myself.
It's like
it's just like a blur going by,
Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, imagine that the George Lopez show would be the sensation that it became?
No, I would say no. And there was a big decision that had to be made because, it was after 9/11. We premiered in 2002. After 9/11, all the comedies at every network went down. Like, they didn't have a chance. Everybody was watching news and or watching Datelines and all the 2020s and Nightlines. And those went away. And then we had sold the pilot in like November, December. No, in May. So we were writing the pilot August, September, October, November, started to read actors in December. And then in the middle of January, or late January of 2002, there had to be a decision made. We're all at Warner Brothers. Sandra was there, Bruce Helford, and all the presidents and people in casting at Warner Brothers. And they said, well, what do you want to do? You want to wait till September, or do you want to try to go into the mid-season, and nobody had an answer. And then Sandra said, well, let's ask George, what do you think? And I said, wow. And I was always a person like, let's go now and find out. Better to find out. I think my grandmother would say that. Better to find out now than to find out later.
Yeah, right.
So I decided to go at the mid-season, and I think it was maybe the toughest decision that I had to make in my life at that time. And then also, I think it was the right decision to make. And we had to retain 85% of the lead-in, and we retained 93.
Wow. Pretty close.
Pretty close. That was kind of a small window, not to lose 15% of your lead in. That's very tough.
But the show, how long was the show in the air? I know
the show we did 120 episodes. So we started in the end of March in 2002, and then we ended in May in 2007.
And you still get something from that?
Oh yeah,
nice. Huh?
Yeah, I'm a creator, so I have points in the show, so they've been buying it every 4 years. I mean, it hasn't been off the air in 20 years, but it's been in syndication since 2007, and I think in 4-year blocks, and they just have kept buying it over and over again.
Why? What was it about the show, or maybe about you, that made America fall in love with that show when it was some weird Latino dude from frickin' LA, which is nothing like Leave It to Beaver or, any of those other shows that we grew up with?
I think, what would you say it was?
Was that Momo?
Yeah. I think the structure of the family was familiar. And then, we were coming off of shows like Full House and Growing Pains and Silver Spoons. And those were all very safe. And then, I would say that they end, like that. And I would say, well, we don't want to do that. We want to be a little bit, thank God Roseanne had been kind of led the way. Mm-hmm. Everybody loves Raymond. So we wanted to be a dysfunctional, but not actually, and not wear our color on our sleeve. Like that show was down the road and very diverse. Like, these guys, I would say, they would say, we're going to have a bad babysitter in an episode and we're going to cast Latinas. I said, no. We're going to cast everybody for different parts, and we're not going to make a babysitter bad, or we're not going to make a couple that need marriage counseling Latinos. They were Asian, and the other girl was a white girl babysitter. Like I just decided to tell those guys to make it everybody else, and we were the family in the house, and we did some really great things. But also, those characters were great, but also the writing was very good and above average writers. And I think at the end of the day, I think the writing and the genuine love that looked like was there between us was still very close, after 20 years, that those things were a perfect match.
But you never looked like you were acting. You looked like you were just being George Lopez. Being George Lopez. There's a show. How did you pull that off, given that, because to look like you're not acting, you have to be acting. And to be able to pull that off, you were supposed to go to some school in New York where very wealthy people go to learn how to do that, Juilliard or some crap like that. I don't imagine that you went to Juilliard.
No.
Boy, what a surprise. I'm right.
I didn't go to the high school of performing arts in New York, LaGuardia High School. You know what I did realize? I realized I wasn't, there's some guys that you can talk to them forever. They're going to tell you that they're the greatest and they don't need this and they don't need that because they know it already.
Yeah.
I wasn't like that. I read with an actor in the middle of December, right before Christmas break, and he was an actor and I wasn't an actor. It was the guy Valente who got the part of my best friend. And I was so bad. And I remember, like a kid at a Little League game, you miss the ball, you look at your parents, and I looked at Bruce and Robert, and the look on their faces were like, no, it's all right. You don't have to read. But I knew that they saw in me, because I saw in their faces, they're like, can this fucking dude even act? What? We're right down the road. Has anybody ever asked you if you can act? No, right. Sir. And after that day, I got back to my house. I called my manager and I said, hey, man, you got to find me an acting coach today.
Wow.
And I had this woman, Warner Laughlin, who I had her for 102 shows. I hired her and then the show paid her, but she was with me all those years. And she's the person that got me to be able to look like I wasn't acting.
Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you, that's such an important lesson. We talk about that a lot. The idea that if you have to stand back sometimes in your life and look at your life like a mural that you're painting, and you can see in one corner, oh my God, it's missing some blue over there. Or there's not enough paint on this side. Like if you same as a garden, you bought 13 plants, but there's 17 feet. You're missing 4 feet of plants. And life is like that. Every once in a while, we got to stand back and go, oh shit, I forgot the acting lessons. I better go buy some. Or
there was no way that if I hadn't seen it or even known to have felt it, that show wasn't going to survive.
God,
with me not taking acting lessons or having my coach with me every day.
That's how close that show came to being a disaster instead of the incredible hit it was. So you're about to unveil or are unveiling now something really cool and new. It's everywhere. I don't know. I can't turn on the TV or see. Tell me about it.
It's been on since November 4th, called Lopez versus Lopez with my daughter, Mayan Lopez.
Great.
Who like me, when she was 12, she wanted to be on Saturday Night Live and she wanted to go to Second City, which she did. And Mayan's great. I mean, Mayan, has learned something that's not easy to learn in a short amount of time. And she's great on the show. And then all of a sudden there's a renewed interest in me because of her. Opportunities that are presenting themselves where they go to her and not necessarily me. And I like that. The idea, did I ever think that I would be doing a show with Mayan? Never. Could I have written it myself? No. And it came from a TikTok where a guy had made a TikTok about, me getting a kidney for my wife and then getting divorced. And, and Mayan took obsession to that, talking about her mom, and she twerked upside down and had a bag of money in her hand and all this shit that doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything to me. And it really kind of just putting everything out there. And I was like, and it was much more than I would have put out there, but I can't tell Mayan what to put out there. So Debbie Wolf saw the TikTok, started following Mayan, started to see these things, daddy issues and things like that. And she had her own issues with her own father. And she was working on the Connors where Bruce Helford runs the Connors. He did my show and she said to him, I got an idea for George and Mayan. You think they'd be interested in this? He goes, well, only way to find out is to pitch it to them. So when they pitched it to me, where you're owning up to your responsibility for the first time and you didn't talk for years, and then you're very hard on each other. And when we hung up, I said, I forgot to ask if it was animation because I thought only if you're painted yellow could you talk to somebody else like this. This isn't a show where I don't think humans would say this to each other. I mean, they're much more comfortable on Family Guy and American Dad and South Park that was going to be the dialogue. But no, it was us. And it's funny because the same things are still there. We did the pilot, then you're waiting to see if the pilot got picked up. And then we've done the 13 episodes. And then tomorrow, December 2nd, we'll know whether we're going to continue, but everybody feels like they're going to continue, and there's things for me to do at NBC. But I told Fred Silverman in the elevator in the early 2000s that my dream job was to have a sitcom at NBC, and he said, maybe one day you will, George.
Wow. Yours is a great story, Vato.
Chico and the Man.
It really is.
I'm in the Sanford and Son time spot.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, Rick, it doesn't, I mean, I've manifested things that could have only been manifested and not ever been, I thought, would have ever happened in the real world.
Wow. Sometimes you pinch yourself and wonder if there isn't some other force out there in the universe that's making all these things happen, right?
You know, I don't have the same problems I had growing up. You know, I have a Range Rover with very high performance tires, and I was driving to a house that I have, and there was a spike in it, and I could have blown out. I mean, I spent 2 hours on the freeway. I could have blown out. So I bought a BMW X7 because I needed a car that had more durable tires. I mean, you know, it's nothing like it's nothing like the way I was growing up.
Yeah, I think back to all the times I could have bit it. Plenty.
It got my attention because I was driving pretty fast, and those tires are nothing. And
when did that happen? When did that happen?
This last over Thanksgiving, and I really felt like I dodged a bullet there. I wasn't about to let it happen again, so I got another car that I could drive.
Wow.
More consistent.
Well, a message, a signal, somebody telling you, be careful, don't take shit for granted.
There was a white bat. There was a white bat flying in the house over there. Never seen a light color bat. Flew into the 2 rooms that I was in, and they were not close to each other. And, you know, the mensaje from the bat is to believe what I feel and to believe what I think I see, because it's true.
Trust. Yeah, exactly. Bueno, yeah.
And again, it wasn't a human being that told me it was a fucking white bat.
I didn't even know white bats existed, man. It's like,
I didn't know either. I could see a little skeletal frame. I was like, what? But he flew in a motion. He didn't flew like any of the dark bats. He flew beautiful. Just, you know, I was touching his wings and flew across in circles in those 2 rooms. And I'm like, I don't know what this is, but whatever he's got to say, I'm listening to.
I'm going to be looking for white bats from now on. George Lopez, we stand on your shoulders, my friend, for all that you have done. You are, I know, like me, you don't wear your Latino-ness on your shoulders or anything, pero at the same time, there are a lot of people who will find pride in your story and will be inspired by what you've done, and man, where that all came from. The stories you tell about when you were growing up with your grandmother and things that weren't so good in your life, and somehow you've been able to manifest all that into one heck of a great story. I mean, it's just really fun, man. It's fun knowing you. It's fun talking to you.
Yeah, I have a great, I always respond really well to you, man. So thank you.
Gracias,
I have a lot of respect for you. I have a lot of respect for you as well.
Thank you, George. You're a good man. We appreciate it. Thanks again. George Lopez, the one and only. How about it, huh? How about it? Well, this is the Rick Sanchez podcast. We're a part of Agua Media. Of course, we're all over the place. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you happen to be watching this on the old YouTube-y thing, make sure you subscribe. Dale. Vamos con todo. Y hasta la próxima.
Agua.
My next guest is a judge on X Factor, and her solo album drops this fall. Welcome back, Nicole Scherzinger, everybody. That is the most beautiful outfit I have ever seen in my life. Wow.
You know, I wake up with these little shoes on, so.
Yes. Yeah, can I steal one of those for about 8 minutes? Now, I'm not sure what that means.
I don't either.
Now, I saw you, thank you for supporting my foundation, on 4th of July.
Yes.
We did an event for military families, and Nicole was supposed to be in Greece, but she decided that she would be in Studio City with me.
Yes. I was supposed to be in Greece doing the Special Olympics, and my family being a part of the military, I wanted to come and support for the foundation, but I have a bone to pick with you, George.
Oh.
Because I showed up and I was like, this is for a good cause. Oh, I'm gonna get the most expensive tickets. I'm gonna get the VIP because I know I'm gonna get some extra treatment. So I bought 3 tickets. It was $300. You know, for some fireworks. It's cool. It's good cause. And I brought my sister. You remember my sister and my little niece? And all we wanted to do, George, was Bouncy Land. Jumpies. You know when you take the kids and they go to like, there's Bouncy Land and do jumpies, and that's all we wanted to do. So I was like, whoo, well, we got, you know, the special little bracelet thing going. So I'm sure we're going to find Bouncy Land and we're going to do whatever we want in Bouncy Land. So we went to Bouncy Land. And I was like, hey, what's up, cool? We just want to get on this little obstacle bouncy course thing. And the guy wouldn't let me on.
How come? Because of those shoes?
I didn't have the right, no.
They thought you'd busted.
No, because I didn't have the right bracelet. He's like, I was like, no, I don't think you see because this is the, you know, and this is like $300 bracelet right here, honey. So I'm going to bounce my way right here through Bouncy Land. And he was like, no, that's not the white bracelet. You have to have a special bracelet. And I was like, where do I find a Bouncy Land bracelet? Because I came all the way over here for Bouncy Land.
And where did you find it?
And you know what? Somebody saw me there and they said, are you Nicole? And I said, yes, I am Nicole. And they gave me a Bouncy Land bracelet, and I went and I actually went through the obstacle.
You were in the bouncy house?
I was. And then.
Wait a minute.
Stop that.
Okay. I would pay $300 to see you in the bouncy house. I'd eat the white bracelet. I'd eat it off my arm. Yes, but how did I make it up to you after? What did we do?
So it was a really lovely family event, and we got to share tequila shots afterwards when I saw you. And the fireworks were, you know, more alive than I've ever seen them after them tequila shots.
You know, it wasn't even fireworks. It was a dude flashing his headlights. Okay, here's what I love about you. Like, we've known each other for a few years, and everywhere you go now, people recognize you all over the world. Congratulations, Nicole.
Oh,
that's big. That's not just... Right?
Yeah, it's a little scary sometimes when people recognize you and you don't expect it.
Where's the craziest place, like fans, if somebody said, oh, I love you so much?
Okay, don't judge me, y'all. But I was in Paris and had to work it out, and so I was getting bikini wax. Okay, right, ladies?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
I was getting bikini wax, and
Wait a minute. Okay, go ahead.
And so there I was, you know, ladies, when you're getting a little bikini wax, you're laying down, and the girl's like doing her thing down there, and she's like, and she goes, I love you so much. And I was like, and so I'm like at the most awkward position. I was like, oh, thank you. Oh God, she knows me, like in my head, right? And then she's like, I am your biggest fan. So I was like, oh, thank you so much. And then she goes, I can't help it. Can I take a picture with you? I felt so embarrassed. And I was like, can we, you know, finish that first before we take a picture? And then.
You know what's crazy? We found the lady and we have the picture. Take a look right there. No. Okay, so X Factor, that's a big show. Congratulations. That is
you.
big.
I'm grateful I have a job.
Okay, now what? The prize is like no other show on TV. What does the winner get?
The winner gets a $5 million, I feel like I should do that when I do this, a $5 million recording contract, which is unheard of, you know, in the music industry today. $5 million recording contract.
Right, and you're already doing the show right now.
Yeah, I'm doing the show. We've been taping the past few months, and it airs September 21st, so make sure y'all watch.
September 20th, everybody's going to see it. It's all over. Simon. So, how is Simon on a daily basis? Because that's, with Paula Abdul, yourself, and Simon, that's a lot of cleavage.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
You guys get along? Does everybody get along?
We're one big, happy, dysfunctional family.
I like that.
Yes, we
that's
are.
How you be, yes. How does Simon and Paula get along?
Well, you know, it's like I always say, LA and I get the front row ticket to the Sonny and Cher show.
So it's real, right? They bump heads a little bit.
Oh my gosh, Simon knows how to get under her skin like nobody else. It's crazy. She starts throwing stuff at him and everything.
Now, you are going to perform a song that is called, what is the song called? Right There.
Yeah, that's my single out right now.
It's sexy. Can I read you? It's a song with 50 Cent. It's unbelievable. The video is crazy sexy. And can I read some of the lyrics? Me like the way he push up on me. Me like the way that he going down, down, down. Right there, keep it right there. I love it when you put it right there. Oh, oh, oh. Who did you write that song for?
I wrote it for you, George. Actually, my girl Esther Dean wrote that song, but we wrote it with you in mind.
Okay, that's good enough. Wait a minute. All right. Nicole Scherzinger will perform my song when we come back.
All right, man, it's time to bring out my homeboy. He really is my homeboy. He's from my hometown, San Fernando, California. I know you've seen him on TV a lot of times, man. I've watched him grow and grow and grow, and now he has arrived. Will you please welcome my homeboy, George Lopez?
La cosa que quiero decir. Thank you. First, I'd like to say, must have hit the SAP button by mistake. Let me translate. Gracias a venir al show, este pinche pueblo de güeros, cabrones que se ven las nalgas, pinches gringos, cabrones que se van a la chinga. I want to thank you all so much for coming out tonight and supporting Latino comedy. Thank you so much. I want to thank my man Cheech Marin and Paul Rodriguez for having me on the show. Pinche güeros que se van para atrás a sus trailer parks, hijo de sus chingas. But I realize that there are problems within our communities, and I know that one day, through patience and understanding, we can bridge the gaps. Y si no, cabrones, que me mamen la verga, pinches güeros, cabrones. And we can allow the healing to begin. All right! Look at the people that don't speak Spanish. What's going on? What's he talking about, Reed? I don't know. Let me greet you with the Mexican hello. That's how we say hello. Hey, George, I want you to meet my family. Oh, shit. Don't forget your cousin in the wheelchair. Because all Mexican families have a relative in the wheelchair. If you don't have one, let me know. I'll get you one. And it's never a good wheelchair. Todo rompido, buen llanta, todo. And somebody has to push him. He can't push himself, your grandma. Push your cousin. Push your cabrón. Push your cousin. You should be happy your legs work, cabrón. Push your cousin. That's how we say hello. Somebody we haven't seen in 20 years. And it's never happy. Not, hey, long time no see. Mexican, where you been, puto? Push it, my cousin. Somebody's far away? How come you didn't say hi to me? Fuck, I went like that. You turned away before I came back up. As the way. Wait for me, man. Wait for me. Because that's the way we are. We grow up so insecure. It's always wait for me. You forget something? Oh, shit, I forgot my jacket. Hey, wait for me. Not, I'll be right back. Hey, I got my keys in there. Wait for me, man. Don't wait for me. Why are we like that? Because when you're a little kid, you have to go pee. What does your mom say? Hurry up, cabrón, because we're not going to wait for you. Mr. Pee-Pee, chingazo, man, let's go. You ever have that crazy aunt that whenever she drinks, they pee anywhere? Todo borracha, mijo, ¿dónde está el baño? Right there, by the time you turn around, she's already down. Tápame, tápame, tápame. ¡Ay! Ese salió con premio. And what do? They're so fucked up they tuck their dress in the pantyhose. ¡Ay! Pinche bailando en la noche, ¿eh? Ay, mira, Rafi, everyone's looking at me. Ay. And nobody says anything. Mira, tía, tiene el vestido ahí. Leave her like that. That way she learns. Everything that happens to us is so we'll learn. You get hit, cabrón. Sit right there. That way you'll learn. Siéntate. And we're always all right. We're so afraid of making trouble. We're always all right. You can get hit by a car. Bam! Oh my God, are you all right? I'm all right. Don't fucking huerco in the front yard. Ay. I'm all right, señora. No, estoy bien. They're gonna run my social security number. I'm all right. And what are we always doing? Nothing. What are we? Hey, what are you doing over there? Nothing. We're never doing nothing. Hey, what'd you do this weekend? Nothing. Latinos are direct opposites of everybody else. Some people are happy to see other people. They wave them over. Oh my God! Look, everyone, it's Duncan. Duncan! Oh my God! We're totally over here. Duncan! You're 9 feet away, they call you on the cell phone. Oh my God! I'm totally right here. Latinos are never happy. We look, oh, fuck, look who's over there, man. Son of a bitch. Hide the chair, hide the chair, hide the chair, hide the chair. Don't look over there, don't look over there, don't look over there. Pretend we're talking, cabrón, pretend we're talking. Look at my face, cabrón, pretend we're talking. He saw me? Shit, he saw me? Liar, say swear to God, swear to God. Swear to God. Come on in, you saw me. Fucking might as well. We're different people. Some people won't wait in line. They'll see a line, oh God, there is a line. Mexican won't wait in line, we don't even know what the line's for. Mira la línea, chinga su madre. Go get in line, go get in line. And once you get in, you let everyone in. Tia, písale, cabrona. They're not gonna get you, come on. Different people. We're not happy for anybody. A true Latino is never happy when other people do well. Our first instinct is negative. Did you hear Ruben got a job at the hospital? The marihuana? Órale. Pinche marijuana working at the hospital. Shit. I'm gonna call up, watch. Hello, hospital? Ruben's a marijuana over. That way he'll learn. My grandmother, I learned from my grandma. My grandma, 82 years old. Everything she says is negative. Everything. Grandma, you hear about Maria? What? That she's pregnant? No, she's getting married. Like I said. With blue eyeshadow. So you can see it, they keep their eyes closed. Are you gonna go to the wedding? I went to the first three. Ah, más puta que la chinga. She got 4 kids getting married in a white dress. Está loca la cabrona, white dress. No, hombre. A white dress, mira that white dress. She should get married in a white dress with black sleeves. And a hole in the front para acabarle chingar. But tell her I said hi. Bring me a plate. That's all I want. We never say congratulations. You ever see people, man, that are happy for other people? Oh God, you're awesome. Congratulations. You rock. We never say congratulations. What do we say? Oh, so now I think you're up bad or what? ¿Te crees muy chingón? We'll still kick your ass. Yeah, go to the Hallmark store and look for that card. Can I help you, sir? Yeah, you don't have a I think you're up bad card? Liar, say swear to God. Swear to God. How about a you ain't shit balloon? You don't have one of those? Shit, you guys don't have nothing here. We need our own greeting cards. We need Mexicano greeting cards because the ones at the stores are too happy. We don't understand that. You need one that says, heard about your new job. You open it up. Don't fuck it up like the last time. We're tough from the time we're kids. You get that tough love. Little babies cry, the mothers run over. Oh my God, Caitlin, are you all right? goes. Mira, there he goes. Chille, chille. No me chingues del bebé. Hombre, let him cry, mija. Let him cry. It's good for his lungs. Let him cry. Let him cry. Turn the music up. I don't need to hear this shit. Turn that music. Then they go pick you up. Don't pick him up. Don't pick him up. He's gonna get used to it. Don't pick him up. Number, now you fuck him up. Number. Now he's gonna want you to hold him and change him. Number. You may as well have another one because you messed that one up. Different people. We trick you into helping. We wait till you sit down. Ruben, what are you doing right now? Right now, I'm not doing nothing. Help me fix my truck. I gotta pull the transmission out and put a new one in. Oh, you mean right now, right now? Yeah. I can't do it right now, right now. When? Shit, probably later. Later. But not right now, right now. You should have told me before. Old school, we're always late. We're late because none of the clocks work in our houses. They all need batteries. The TV is the clock. It's always on. Grandma, when do you take your medicine? Cuando se acaba la Judge Judy, I take my pill. We don't have clocks in the house. All we have is calendars from every panaderia we've ever been to. On the walls, every wall. And it's the same picture, the Aztec dude and the dead lady. And your grandma doesn't want to take it down. That reminds me of me when I was young. Porque me gustaba pisquear and they used to bring me home like that, barefoot, with a flower in my hair. Toda encuerada. I never had a water hose at my house that had the metal end. You know? It was always cut and cut. The minute it had a hole over here, they cut. Córtalo, cabrón. Pinche hose was this long. I wanted a nozzle. My grandfather like, you got a thumb, you got a nozzle. Mira. How do I turn it off? Pinch it, mira. Off. On. Chinga su madre, mira. Pinch it. Off. On. Pégale. Off. I didn't have swim trunks. I used to cut pants. You ever used to cut pants? Hey, if you want to go swimming, cut pants. Then you find the scissors and some old pants. Are we going for reals? For reals. Because if I cut, I can't cut back. For reals? Say swear to God. Swear to God. Or you used to go swimming in your underwear, the tantarans. Remember the tantaran? The white briefs, tantaran. You'd run around the house with a towel and a clothespin. Tantaran. And your mom still thinks you're the tantaran boy. You're 34 years old. Todo borracha la cabrón. Mijo, tú the tantaran. Do the tantaran. With feeling, cabrón. I don't believe you. Tantaran. Mira, te salió un huevo, cabrón. Oh my God, cochino. With un huevo salido, popped out. Mira, put it back in. And when did you get hair, cochino? We never believe when anybody's sick. And when they are sick, they never go to the doctor.
Man, I feel bad. I should go to the doctor. Shit, you better not go. They're gonna find something wrong with you. Don't go. If I were you, I wouldn't go. Drink a 7-Up, you'll be all right. Tómate un 7.
Drink a 7-Up. And burp it out. Mira, chingate todo el bote.
Y luego... Y sale el cáncer con el burp, mira. Pon el lemon, pon el limón y luego chingate. We drink too much. We drink to get drunk with todo. Then we call women up in the middle of the night. Hey, 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 hey. What are you doing? Sleeping? Cochina. Let me come over. Right now, right now. Hey, hey, what are your chichis doing? If you let me come over, I'll go down there. No, this time for reals. Because you're a cochina. You liked it. You liked it. You liked it. You liked it. When you got on top and you were moving the... Oh, I'm sorry, señora. ¿Es Gloria there? Different people. We've taken over the country. If you go to any fast food restaurant, it's all Latinos that work there. You have to be bilingual to get a hamburger. You ever go to Jack in the Box and the voice that comes out of the speaker has a Mexican accent? ¿Cuánto Jack in the Box? Can I take your order? What the fuck's going on in there? Welcome to Jack in the Box. Can I take your order? ¿Quiere algo, cabrón? You want sunshine? Is this Jack in the Box? Yes, can I have a jumbo jack? You want a jumbo yak? ¿Quieres sheet? You want sheet? ¿Quieres queso? You want sheet? I better not. ¿Quieres papa frita? You want french fry? Papa frita? No papa la fritas, thanks. Then they lose everybody in Jack in the Box. What kind of fountain drinks do you have? What kind of fountain drinks do you have? ¿Qué? Fountain drinks. 1 minute, please. Ramón, este vato me está diciendo fountain drink. ¿Qué es eso? Este pinche mamón en la ventana me está diciendo fountain drink, muy chingón. ¿Qué? ¿Es soda? ¿Es soda? Es soda. Míralo, cabrón. Hey, why you not say soda, stupid? Sí, tenemos soda, tenemos Coca, tenemos Pepsi, Sprite, Mr. Pip. Then they got all the Mexicans. Jamaica, tamarindo, chaparrada, horchata. I don't want to know who works there, fucker. I want something to drink. We do everything by memory. All Latinos. It's all memory. Remember that time we went? You remember? You don't remember? You got drunk and you threw up outside? You don't remember? You remember? We don't have pictures. We take pictures. We just never developed the film. They just hold up the film. Mira, these are when you were little.
Dice Fuchi. But things are changing, things get better. What's happening now is a lot of Latinas are raising little kids. You know, there's a Latino in every home, whether you live there or you work there. They come in and raise these kids for these ladies that want to work. There was always somebody in our house raising us, so they raise their kids and they raise other kids, little white kids that are going to understand Latinos because they're going to have brown hearts, because the person that's spending all the time with them, Socorro, is teaching them. And they're gonna speak Spanish. Austin, bájate de ahí, cabrón, bájate. Oh. Con permiso, Socorro. And when they fall, they're gonna get what we got when we fell. Mira, go to the top, cabrón, and fall all the way down. So you can break your head wide open. Súbale, súbale. And when that mother tries to discipline her kid, it's not gonna work because she's not there. She's gonna come home, come here this instant. I didn't even do nothing. You come here right now. Right now, right now. And when that kid walks for the first time and talks for the first time, that mother's not gonna be there, Socorro's gonna be there. She's gonna have to hear about it that day. Señora, mira, today that baby estaba walkie. I'm sorry, no Nintendo. Mira, el bebé, Austin, estaba walkie, mira, walkie. Y también talking, mira, pic, pic. Oh my God! Austin was walking and talking. Te estoy diciendo, cabrona, que estaba andando y estaba hablando. Did you get the video camera? Did you videotape it? Shit, what for? I'll remember. Gracias. I love you guys. Cuídense. Thank you very much. I love you, gracias.
George Lopez. George Lopez, ladies and gentlemen.
Xin chào các bạn, mình tô một bức tranh này nha.
Di ơi. Di à. Biểu.
Dạ.
Lấy cho mẹ vài trái nhãn ăn đi. Con ngủ à.
Cái này là chị ba con cái chân mất đi ngay đầu con, cái chị của chị ba quýnh chết.
Với mày nó cho anh mất dạy. Kêu không cho bước ngang, mấy đứa nhỏ mà bước ngang hoài à. Đừng có mất dạy qua nha. Tao không có dạy bậy à. Lấy cái ấy. Sao con lấy cái trên đá? Đưa cái ấy nè.
Một cái trên đá luôn hả?
Ít cho rồi. Đây mình đã hoàn thành một cái bức tranh nha các bạn. Bye bye.